Hey guys, welcome to Med10. So in this new video on history taking in pediatrics, we are going to make it again simple and easy to remember. So stick till the end and enjoy. So beginning with the history taking in pediatrics, basically we'll go over the key points. What are the key points we have to remember in pediatrics? Firstly, we'll ask about the personal demographic details of the patient, which includes the name, age, sex and everything. We'll discuss it in detail. Then we'll go over the presenting complaints of the child, for what the child is coming to the hospital. Then we'll discuss in brief about the history of presenting illness. We'll go according to the symptom review, system review, as well as the medications received in the past. Then we'll go over the past history, which might include the perinatal events, illnesses and accidents. It also includes the growth and developmental milestones of the child. Then we'll also go over the family history of the child. I will also draw pedigree chart up to 3 generations, whether there are any genetic abnormalities in the child. We'll discuss about the social history of the child, the feeding history, and finally we'll wind up with the immunization status of the child. So beginning with the basic demographic details. So first we'll ask about the patient's name, the age, what is the sex, address, income, occupation, whether the child is working, education up to till now, and religion of the patient. Finally, who is the informant of the child? Is it a mother, father, is it a guardian? And we'll ask the informant's name, age, and preferably date of birth as well. So next we'll go over the presenting complaints. What did the child come to the hospital for? And we'll write it down in the chronological order, whether is it diarrhea, fever, vomiting, whatever it is, which started first. We'll begin with that and we'll slowly come down. Then followed by the history of presenting illness. In this history of presenting illness, these are nothing but a sequence of events during the course of the illness. So how did the illness come from? So what are the common presenting complaints in the pediatric department? Firstly, we'll have cry. So cry is the signal of discomfort, boredom or hunger in the infant. If the cry is incessant and unconsolable, then it means it is because of painful conditions. And what are the painful conditions? It might be an intestinal colic, it might be acute otitis media, it might be due to inflammation or trauma as well. Then next, going over the high pitched shrill cry, and this type of cry is because of cerebral irritation or meningeal irritation. The next is, if the crying is worse when you picked up the child, so that might be because of arthritis, osteomyelitis or abscess anywhere in the body. And if the cry is hoarse, it might be because of cretinism, laryngitis as well as bronchitis. So this is about the cry. Next, the next common symptom in the pediatric department is because of fever. Firstly, we will ask about the onset of the fever, duration, as well as character of the fever, whether it was continuous, remittent, intermittent, whether it was a stepladder fever as well as Peb-Abstin fever. We will also discuss about the severity of the fever, whether it was associated with any chills or rigors. The next symptom is cough. Again, we'll ask the same thing about the duration of the cough, frequency, the character of the cough, whether it was barking type, and whether it was paroxysmal, and whether it had any postural or diurnal variation of the cough. The next symptom, which is nothing but is vomiting. Again, we'll ask about the duration of the vomiting, how frequent it was, and what was the severity, and whether the vomiting was associated with fever, headache, altered consciousness, abdominal distension, constipation or diarrhea. Then again, the most common symptom in the pediatric department is the diarrhea. So sometimes the diarrhea can be because of exaggerated gastrocolic reflex, which is common in the bottle-fed children because of contamination in the feeds. Again, for the diarrhea, we'll ask about the duration, severity, frequency, as well as whether it was associated with fever or vomiting. So when it comes to diarrhea, you have to assess about the bulk, whether it is watery, rice water, semi-loose, semi-solid, and what are the contents of the diarrhea, as well as the color of the stool. So again, the next common symptom is again pain in abdomen, and we'll go according to the Socrates phenomena, which is nothing but as a site onset character, whether it was radiation associated and exaggerated symptoms. So this is about the pain abdomen. So after the detailed on the history of presenting illness, we'll wind up with the history of any medications received in the past, whether that was responsible for these complaints. Then we'll go for the history of past illnesses. In this history of past illnesses, we'll ask whether the child had similar complaints in the past or is it the first time. We'll also ask about the details of the perinatal history, and this perinatal history is must for neonates and infants. So we'll ask for the maternal diseases associated or any medications he received during pregnancy, what was the presentation mode of delivery of the child, and what was the birth weight of the child, gestation period, as well as whether the child had neonatal jaundice or not. After the history of part illness, we'll go with the developmental history, and during this developmental history we have to ask for the precise timing of the social smile. These are all the social milestones: the head control, rolling over, sitting, standing, walking, whether the child is able to self feed, and what about the bowel and bladder control of the child, and the speech of the child. So these all things are included in the developmental history to assess the particular child. Followed by, we'll go according to the family history, and you have to draw the family pedigree chart up to 3 generations to identify if there are any genetic abnormalities. And also you have to ask for the history of contact with the possible infectious illnesses. If the child has any infectious illnesses, you have to ask whether there is contact in the family. Then we'll go to the social history, and in this social history we will ask about the parents' occupation, their education, income, per capita income, and whether the family is joint or nuclear. We'll also ask about the housing conditions, sewage disposal, water source, as well as social and cultural practices to determine whether there is a social cost for the illness of the child. Then we'll go over the feeding history of the child, and this feeding history this is nothing but a history of the dietary intake, and it will also includes 24 hours of semi-quantitative diet recall, where we'll calculate about the calorie deficit of the child, the protein deficit of the child, and we'll ask about the exclusive best feeding if the child has taken, or when was the complementary feeding started, and everything that will come under the feeding history. Finally, we'll go to the immunization status. We'll ask whether the child is completely immunized till the particular age of the child, and I have a detailed video on the immunization status of the child, so please watch my video on the national immunization schedule. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe and hit the like button, and also share it to other friends if it is found helpful for you. Thank you so much.